Hello and welcome back. It's our final week of the winter series of 7 Ways in 7 Weeks. And the seventh way of being relational is about being kind. Being kind. Easy peasy to be kind. Not so easy peasy. It is easy to underestimate how challenging it can be to be kind. And we think it's partly because kindness is largely undefined. So in being relational, we've defined being kind in a way that includes power. That's right, your power and how you use it. Everyone has power. We have a lot of different varieties of power. In ways I like to think about as power currencies. Power currencies. You have knowledge power, you have talent power, you have communication power, you have broadcast power, you have sexual power, you have physical power, you have positional power. You have a lot of different varieties of power. And in relational terms, being kind is your awareness of your power in relation to another, and awareness of their power in relation to you. That's what being kind is all about in relational terms. So let's take a look at a scenario on positional power. Let's say that there is a new president of a large health system, and she has been charged with new policy for those hospitals. Let's say there are 3 hospitals and 10 clinics in this health system. Now, will she use her power in ways that are kind, this positional power of hers? Well, one of the ways to take a look at that is to contrast it, as we know we do. Choices to be relational are oftentimes choices not to be transactional. So let's say that she used her power to be transactional, looking just at the interests of the hospital, and the interests of the hospital at the bottom line, profit, and how the hospital would manage and make the most. And that might look like reducing staff and sort of squeezing a lot of duties out of a smaller number of people. It might look like layering up a whole lot of more departments, more channels that one has to go through. It's a lot of siloing in the medical system, where these people just do this and these people just do that. They don't cross-pollinate. It could also be issues around patient safety for the purpose of not having lawsuits. Very transactional approaches and motivations for how it is that she might choose to use her positional power. But let's contrast that with ways that are relational. If she were to choose to use her positional power in relational ways, and in ways that I like to think of as relational medicine. So she would look at that health system as a system, something that is all working within, and something that happens over in this part of the system will affect something that happens over in this part. So it would not be an approach that was just for the bottom line. It would not be an approach that was just patient-centered. Why? Because if it were just for the bottom line, we know that people and their well-being can suffer. And if it were just an approach that was just patient-centered, we know that staff and nurses and doctors might be left behind, if you will. Or if it were just more doctor-centered, then we know there would be more of that hierarchy. But if it were relationally centered, where she was using her positional power in ways that were kind, she might have trainings on, yes, policy, but there would not be this rigidity. In fact, she would be training her staff to use their good judgment in problem-solving ways that were compassionate, not only for staff, not only good for the hospital, but good for the patient and their families. This is radically different, this quality of using positional power in ways that would be relational. She might also have trainings and conferences bringing the silos together. She might award employees for thinking out of the box. There are loads of different ways of thinking relationally as one uses her positional power. It would be radically different, wouldn't it? And that's why we like to think of that as relational medicine. But how about for you, with your power currencies, even your positional power? How will you use your positional power to be kind in ways that are good for you and for others? Your positional power as a mother, your positional power as a parent, as a grandparent, your positional power as a friend, your positional power as a volunteer. How might you use your power currency in ways that are kind? Because being relational is good for everyone. Be relational.